Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Today's an important administrative day as we talk about a change in process. And so we're going to go through it's not real difficult, but we just want to make sure that everyone understands. So you can ignore this document in the background for a moment. Let's start from the top, and then we'll get to this new document. So let's say that you're a reseller and you're going to enroll a client either in the accelerator program, which we launched yesterday, or the Shelf Corp. In either case, you should have an editable client agreement. This is what the accelerator agreement looks like. Everyone should have that. You'll take our information off, put yours on. If you want to change pricing, you can change pricing to determine whatever you make on the front end. But the bottom line is there's a standard agreement for the accelerator, which is this one. Everyone should have an editable version. If not, you with Madison, she'll get it to you. And then we have a different one for the Shelf Corp. Very similar agreements. Now, there are going to be some subtle differences when you get down to Exhibit E on free resources. So let's kind of compare those two. So the Business Accelerator is based around a client coming to you. They want funding, but they don't have a fundable business yet. So this is the scope of services that they receive, including the $100,000 of accounts receivable. With the Shelf Corp, it's different. We're actually doing the filing with the Secretary of State, the EIN. Well, the entity already exists, but then getting it into the name of the client. So first step, let's pull the notes back up. The first step, of course, is to get the client under contract. So that's not a change. So it could either be the Shelf or the accelerator. Two different contracts. You all should have both. If you don't have both editable agreements, get with Madison. We can get those to you. Remove our information, put yours on, change pricing if you want, and now we have a client relationship. Technically, the client relationship is between you and them. You and them. So that's the first step. That hasn't changed. Second step then is we'll say BPC will email client, copy you the funding application. So what do we know? In both cases, there's no upfront cost to the client to enroll in the Shelf or in the accelerator. No upfront cost. So once you get the client under contract, I guess we'll add a step. Let's add a step. So you'll upload agreement into portal and alert us, because otherwise we don't have the contract. So you're out there you're educating, getting clients under contract. You upload them into the portal. If you don't have your portal, get with Madison. We'll get that to you. It's free. And then we know we have a client under contract. Therefore, we're going to then send them the funding application. So we'll send it to the client via email. We'll copy you, and I'll make a note here that Madison will call and text client encouraging to complete. Now, you can also encourage your client to complete it, right? Because even though they signed the contract with you, they owe you the money. They need to pay for it. They don't have to pay anything out of pocket, but they need to complete the funding or the finance app so we can get them the money so they can pay you. And then usually they'll have money left over for working capital, or as Floyd likes to call it, fund money. So we're going to email the app, and there's no change to this step in the process. We'll copy you. On occasion, I'll have resellers, like yesterday, I had a reseller said, well, no, the client didn't get it. Client didn't get it. Well, it's possible that we dropped the ball, but that's rare. Normally, what happens is the client doesn't see it because it goes into spam or the client doesn't check email. So that's why we're doing a 3-point contact. We're going to email it to them. Madison's going to call them. Madison's going to text them. And remember, you're copied on this damn application. So for some reason, the client can't find it in their email because they're just not very organized or what have you. You can go ahead and forward it to them again because you have it. All right, so then what happens next? Then client completes. Oh, a little delay there. Completes the application. And so that's an e-signature. It comes back to us. It's secure. It's just a simple one-page app. Top half is business information. If they don't have that, it's optional. Bottom half is business owner information. Always need that. So everything we've covered so far is the same. There's no change. I just wanted to make sure we're all operating off of a common understanding. Now we get to the change, which is what's shown in the background, number 5. BPC will email or will request from client the direct deposit form. So that's the real point of today's discussion, and that's what you see in the background. I'll move this over a little bit. So what we've had happen is identity theft, where someone pretended to be someone else and they went through the process and borrowed money and received money, and the actual client was unaware of, the actual person, I should say, was unaware of it. We've seen that happen with spouses. We've seen that happen with business partners. I don't know that we've ever had it with a stranger, but it's usually with someone that they know that has access. So our counsel has asked us to add an extra step. Who wants an extra step? Probably no one, but it's to protect you, it's to protect us, and protect the client. So there'll be an e-signature version of this. So the client's asked to initial here. They're being asked to send a copy of their driver's license to Madison. So until this form is filled out and they send a copy of their driver's license to Madison, we're not going to process that funding app. Because remember, oh, I see, Madison's name's misspelled. It's Madison. Sorry, there's extra I there, mistyped. But thank you for pointing that out, Dominic. So this is how her name is spelled. So it's Madison at 509 Pacific. We'll fix that. But the point specifically is that our counsel has said if we're collecting the driver's license from the applicant, that is a significant step in confirming identity. Now, I know a spouse could get the spouse's driver's license, or a business partner could theoretically get it, but it's one extra step to try to confirm that we do have the right person. I think what I'll do, since this form's already circulated, I'll create a mail forwarding. So this email will stay, and then I'll have it forwarded to Madison, so that way the form is still good. Then also we ask for the direct deposit information. The money needs to be deposited somewhere that these clients receive. So this will allow us to go ahead and get their banking information for the direct deposit. So with that being said, let's go back to this. So step 5 is a new step. We'll put some asterisk by it because that's new. And that's what I want to discuss with you. We'll take care of it. I just want you to know why we're doing it, what it looks like, and how it works. Again, we'll get this email because Dominique's right. Madison's name's misspelled on this, so that could cause a problem with him emailing. Again, what I'm going to do is go in and have our tech team create a mail forwarding. So this is a good email, and it'll forward on over to Madison. So what happens then next is then we're going to process the finance application. And if you remember on yesterday's training, we went through and we gave examples of what we call first tranche financing, or seed capital, how much the client qualifies for upfront. Now, They don't have the shelf corp yet because they've not paid for it. They don't have all the benefits of the accelerator because they've not paid for it. What we're trying to do is get them financing to pay for the shelf or the accelerator. So that way you're paid and then they end up with some fund money in their pocket as well. So our team will process, I guess I'll go ahead and put on there, BPC will process the finance application, and then BPC will send offers to client. And that will get to the client both via email and text. We also send them instructions on how to accept that funding. So then what happens is then the client accepts offers or offers. It's up to them. They can stack them. They can accept just one. They can accept multiple. It's up to them. But obviously, we want them to accept enough offers to be able to pay you because they owe you for the shelf or the accelerator, whichever one that they purchased. So then client receives funding, which again, we're calling this seed capital or first tranche financing. This is the money up front, not after the shelf has been delivered, not after the accelerator has been processed, up front. So they receive that funding and then they're going to client pays you, right? So now we've been able to complete the process. It starts with you getting the client under contract and it concludes with getting the client financing and set up in the system so the client pays you and then we implement. So I guess we'll go ahead and add that. So then we implement. I think there's been some, not very often, but sometimes people think this implementation happens earlier. Well, no, they need to pay you first. Like when you go find a really nice couch at the furniture store, you need to pay for it. Now you can pay cash or you can finance it, but somehow you got to pay for the couch before you take it home and sit on it and use it. Same with pretty much any asset. You don't take the car home from the dealership until you pay for it or you finance it, which is a way of paying for it. So who has questions regarding this process? There's only one step in this that's new, that's different, and it's step 5, which is this form. All right, so Ben's wanting us to focus in on number 8. So let's break that down. That's a great point, Ben. So types of client offers for seed capital first tranche financing. So in many cases, like I said, the application, which I don't have shown here, but the application is a simple one page. Top half is business information if they already have a business. Bottom half is business owner. If they have a business already, in many cases, we can get them a line of credit through their business. But again, I know not everyone brings a business to the table. So, but I'm just going through and answering Ben's questions. What could the outcome be of number 8? So we'll call this 8 explained. Well, in many cases, it'll be a business line of credit. No, not a merchant cash advance, a line of credit. So it gives them an extension of money. They can use it as they want. They can use it to pay you. So that's a very popular example, but not everyone will qualify for a business line of credit, especially in the beginning. So if not, we could get them a personal line of credit. Works much the same, just based on the person. Some people will get a personal term loan, and people could get multiple offers, by the way. That's why I said they can get different offers and accept. So personal term loan. We could do business credit cards if they already have a business. Again, I know they're coming to us to get a shelf or an accelerator, but a lot of these people have another business, or with the accelerator, of course, they already have a business. So I'm not saying everyone would get all of these offers. I'm not saying that, but these are the typical ways that clients gets money from this process to pay you. Now, Ben's question was really what happens if they don't get any of the above? Then we can set them up on QuickCash and use QuickCash, or they can become a reseller. And we had a bit of a spirited conversation yesterday. Resellers are making normally 5,000 upfront plus a lot more on the back end, but just focusing on the upfront. So let's say that you're selling the shell for the accelerator for 15,000. That's common. They could become a reseller, and if they just sold three times 5,000 is 15,000. So in other words, they could earn it. I'm not as fortunate as many of you, but I know when I went to graduate school for my MBA, I worked for the university in addition to going to school full time. And so that's a way that many graduate schools allow students to earn income to help pay for their school. So you earn it, you work. So these are entrepreneurs. They're wired to work to provide solutions to other people. So if for some reason they've not managed themselves, their businesses, their money, their credit well enough to qualify, so you shouldn't see that too often, but Ben's right, it could happen, then we have a safety net of either of these. And I'll make that capitalized. So no one's left behind. Hopefully that makes sense, Ben. All right. Rod says, good morning. Good morning, Rod. Let's see. All right. So Daryl has a client that went through the process, and the client had a very high credit score. So that's interesting. So you're right, Daryl. So when it comes to this step here, so the application's been completed. We submit it into a portal. There's no hard inquiries. And so with that, then they get offers. And I've seen people with low scores get great offers, and I've seen people with high scores get low offers. So it can vary. With that, we just don't know. We're going to have to run the app and see, because lenders are they're smart people, smart organizations. So it's not just based upon a credit score. They're going to look at the profile overall, and they don't tell us all the details. So again, we've had people in the 500s get big offers, and I've seen people in the high 700s get no offers. Because what you and I know, it's more than just the score. It has a lot to do with their profile. But no one's going to be left behind, Daryl. That's the great thing. So if they don't qualify for a business line or a personal line of credit, it's okay. Most people will qualify for a personal term loan. If not, that's okay. Maybe we can get them business credit cards even up front, but if not, that's okay. Everyone's going to have the ability to pay you for the program. So no one will be left behind. All right, Rod's having problems with the agreement. So let's go back up here. So we have the Shelf Corp agreement, which we've provided all of you an editable version of, and then there's a similar but different editable agreement for the Business Accelerator. Some of you don't have the computer skills to make the edits, to remove our information, to change the address. Some of you just can't do it. And so if you can't do it, we've got a couple options. We have what we call the Reseller Marketing Program. So let me put that up there. So we'll make a little space. Reseller Marketing Program. So first thing you need to know, this is optional, not required. It does cost, but we reimburse you with your first deal. And then what that includes, and we've covered this on prior trainings, is it includes a landing page, Has the drip automation through text and emails to your prospects, includes the e-signature contract, etc. So this is a nice kit if you lack the technical competency to put those pieces together. So do you have to get the reseller marketing program? We call this RMP, by the way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you want that, then Rod, we can take care of all of that for you. And so I think that's what you're describing. You need it. Now, you could also have someone, you could do it yourself or have someone help you. I forget who it was, and it was a funny story. I'm trying to remember the person that did it. I think it was Charles, so I'm not sure. Charles is a widowed gentleman, a little bit older than most of us, but he has he has a girlfriend, and he pays the girlfriend for services, if you can read between the lines. So she's not really a girlfriend, she's a vendor, I guess. And so he had his prostitute put together all of this for him. So we can do it for you. You can do it. You can have your paid sex worker. It's up to you. But you're right, Rod. If you lack the ability to get a client under contract, then the rest of this will never happen. You'll never get paid, and we'll never be able to implement. So if you can do it yourself, which you should be able to, that's fine. If you're not able to, then we have the reseller marketing program. Jason says he's looking for a hooker to help find leads. Yeah, so you can probably, Jason, go to Craigslist and look for escorts. I don't know if, Jason, if you prefer male or female escorts, but I think that's where Charles found his friend. So I don't want to be your pimp, but you can definitely find friends online if that's what you're looking for, Jason. Okay, question about QuickCash. So QuickCash, we had a separate training. So remember, we have, let me scoot this over again. So we have all of our past trainings up on YouTube, and we've had a couple on QuickCash that if you have questions about that, I would encourage you to watch that. And then if you wanted to access QuickCash is great to a certain extent. It serves a purpose, but it comes in $10,000 increments, portfolios. So if you, depending upon how much you're selling the shelf or accelerator for, it's true, Daryl, that the client may need to get two QuickCash to pay for it. But I'd encourage you to watch past trainings, Daryl, and then you can access QuickCash on the nonprofit side. All right, so wrapping it up. So our goal today was to introduce the new direct deposit form, which requires the prospect, or not the prospect, the client to send a copy of the driver's license to Madison. This is done to protect you, to protect us, and protect the clients. So that way we can make sure that the people that's borrowing the money is the actual person. We've had several instances. Again, I don't think it's ever been just a flat out stranger, but spouses, significant others, and business partners have circumvented and borrowed money under other people's names. Our legal counsel said this is a big step towards preventing that, and then also getting the banking information for the deposits. All right, so with that, hopefully this was helpful. We introduced the new form, the new step in the process. Sorry if it's a bit inconvenient, but we need to protect you, need to protect us, because what happens? Let's say partner A has partner B, and partner B goes through this process under partner A's name. When partner B gets that money, do you think partner B is going to pay for the contract for partner A? Typically not. Typically not. So this is going to be helpful in making sure that you get your money, making sure that the people that are filling out the paperwork is the actual person versus impersonating someone else. With that being said, if you need a QuickCash, go to 509 Pacific. If you're not a reseller, want to become one, you can email us. We can send you the kit. No contract to sign, no cost. Call Madison if you need individualized assistance. Encourage you to keep up with past trainings you may have missed. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.